Hello, a very warm welcome to everyone. So today I'll be talking about UX, about the UX processes and how it can benefit both the businesses and the users. Okay, so this is what we'll try and cover in this workshop. And this is a very important slide. You should understand that what is user experience and then why it's important for business and the end users, and then also the complete process, and then how should the end result be. Who will benefit from this workshop? So even if you are a beginner, if you're starting in this journey, this workshop will be beneficial for you too. And even if you have good knowledge of user experience design, or if you have like some knowledge about the user experience design process and all, still this workshop will be beneficial for you. Apart from the UX process, we'll try to cover a lot of other things also. Try to like talk about different artifacts in details and also give you an overview of like different methods that we follow. What are the different things that we do at different stages of the UX process? So I'll walk through those things too. And along with that, I'll also share my learnings and experiences of how you can work efficiently in a good team and how can you be a good team player. And along with that, I'll also try to, find what you're good at. So basically finding your strength and then guiding you like how you should improve that and how you should work on those strengths and then create a niche for yourself in the market. Okay, so that is what we'll try to cover in this workshop. This is me for the new people. So I'm Manprit, I'm a UX design consultant, and I've worked with a lot of companies, a lot of startups, a lot of tech companies too, a lot of corporates. I've got like good experience in designing like B2B, B2C processes and digital products, even like physical products. So I've got a lot of good experience. Okay, and I'll try to like share all my learnings with real world examples wherever possible. So I'll try to share my learnings in this workshop. I think like most of have already filled this form. And if there is anyone like who has not yet filled, I would like to request to fill this form. Also, yes, try to keep your video on if possible. I consider every one of you as a UX designer because user experience designer means like designing for the users. And at times, like, we also work or we also act as a user for our different products. For example, let's take the case of a phone. Okay, so like we also like in our life bought a lot of phones, or like before buying a phone we follow a process. So understanding the process that you as a user follow. Okay, so not specific to one product but like different services, when using different services or like interacting with a lot of people. It could be related to like planning for a journey and so on. So what we generally do is we behave like a user at that point, right? So we try to evaluate like the services, the service providers, like how. So there is one kind of process that you generally follow when you are actually buying a product or like buying a service or taking a service. Okay, and that is happening from the user point of view. Now just flip the role. Now assume yourself to be a UX designer and start thinking from the end user point of view and think like, how would you bring about an impact with your product, with your solution? So as a user, what you like is you like products which are good. One is like good looking, with right experience, which is engaging, which fulfills your need, right? So these are the things you need as an end user. Now, when you're working as a UX designer, you should also be taking these things in mind. You should consider these factors in mind and then do the solution. So at the end, what you will be doing as a UX designer, you will be creating a solution which is simple, minimal, efficient, effectively solving the problem of the user, right? So basically, you at a time like when you're working on any UX process or a product, you can consider yourself as a user. And during the process, what we do is like we go out and also talk to the other users. Okay, so other users of the product, we try to go and meet them. We try to like ask few questions like what are the different process that they follow before buying the product, or like what are the problems if they have any when they're using product, and so on. So these are the different things that we like do as a UX designer. Now think from this product point of view, the iPhone Pro Max. Like if you are the end user, now let's assume you are the end user and you're planning to buy this iPhone Pro Max. What will be your process? So generally, like if I'm the user, I'll do the research online. I'll try to like also compare the features of the different variants of this iPhone along with the other mobile phones. Okay, so I'll do that. Also, I'll try to see like, okay, so what are the colors available in the market, and also like what is the capacity, what is the price, and what is the warranty. A lot of different things that we do before we actually buy the product, right? And apart from that, we also, like go and talk to our friends, like who are already the user of this kind of product or this particular phone. We talk to them, we ask them like, how's the review? Like, did you like it? We also try to get the feedback. So what we're generally doing is like, before buying a product, we follow a process, okay? And once we have the clarity, or once we are confident that the product is good, we go and buy that product. And in case, if we get negative review or negative feedback of the product, then what we do is like we don't buy the product. We then go and buy the product of some other competitor, or the product from some other company or other brand, right? So now this what I just talked about is happening at the end of the user. Basically, the user decides based on different things. So whether the features are good, whether the price point is right, and so on. Okay, and also the experience of the product. So experience of the product could be like good and bad. Now, when you're working as a UX designer, what you should consider is you should consider all these points, all the factors that the user thinks or considers before actually using the product. Now, when you start thinking from the user point of view, what will happen is like you will start realizing the need of the user, and also the features, the factors, and the functions of the product, and you will start like making products that meets the need of the end users, right? So basically, it's all about mapping the needs of the user. If you're able to understand as a user, like what would you follow as a process, basically the feature that you would like to have in the product, so those things will help you decide the product. Okay, so that's why you can also be a user at times, and you can also be the UX person at a time. So before buying a product, you decide on these things, like how do you decide which variant to buy, where to buy from. You also like check the competition. These are the few things that we actually decide on, along with the features, along with the usability of the product and all, when actually working on the product. Similarly, let's take the example of this case. So this is a person who wants to get fit and healthy. So what will be the process of her, like what will be the process that will follow? She will actually go online, check like what to do, how can she stay fit, what are the best things to eat, right? These are the different things that she will do, right? Along with that, she'll also try to see like which are the right foods to eat and which food she should not eat. And along with that, the exercise type. Okay, so these are the needs of the user. Now, when working as a UX designer, what you'll have to do is like you'll have to understand the need of the users and then craft the products. And how can you understand the user? By talking to them, by engaging with them, by understanding their problems, understanding their needs, understanding their expectations. And once you have good understanding of all those things, and after that, when you go back to your design studio, and start working with your team, now since you'll have better understanding, since you have talked with them, so you will be able to like create better products for them. Okay, so that's why like you should understand what is the need of the user, and then go on like and create the product. So similarly, this is another example. Okay, and this is example of XYZ who has his or her 23rd birthday, and she wants to throw a party. So she will again follow a process, actually find the right place, like and how to plan for the party, and so on. Now suppose you are someone who's creating a product for this kind of user. So what will be the process, and how will you solve the problem? How will you serve this kind of users? Okay, and how will you do that? How can you create the right product for them? By understanding them, by talking to them, by interviewing a lot of people and trying to understand their needs and how do they plan, what is the process, and then use those learnings to create your own product. Okay, so user experience designer always has to like interact with the users, the end users, the final users of the product. So that is a must. So in each case, what we did, we tried to understand basically whenever there is a need of a product, what happens? Awareness happens. Like suppose I want a bicycle, and what will happen? Like there will be a need. Okay, so once there is a need, I'll go and do the research. This is a general process that the user follows, any user. Okay, they will do the research of very different kinds, like primary research and secondary research. They'll also consult families and friends. Okay, and also compare products and services available in the market. So in this case, if it's a bicycle or a bike, so they'll go online and check the competition, what are the services, what are the features, what is the warranty, and so many different things, and then make a comparison. And then finally they will decide and buy one of the product, and once they buy the product, they will start using the product. Okay, and this is happening from the user point of view. So user is doing this. Now if you want to be a very good and a better UX designer, you should understand this process. Like what is the process that the user goes through before buying a product, before availing or taking a service. And once you have a clear understanding of like what's happening at the user end, you can then like create the right product for them. And that's why, in order to understand this complete need and the process that they follow, what we do is like we follow this UX process. Okay, so we follow a UX process, and we use that process to basically interact with the user, to understand the business needs first, like why business is investing and creating that product. First is that is what we try to understand, and after that we also try to understand why what are the needs of the user and why we should be like creating the products for them. Okay, and this is the that we generally follow, and this journey is also represented in a format called as user experience journey, okay, or user experience mapping. So we'll learn about those things when we'll try to understand this UX process. Okay, so now what happens is like when a user interacts with a product, okay, then what happens, like some of the products, when you're using as a user, you like some of the products and some of the products you don't like. And what is the reason behind that? The reason behind that is the engagement and the level of satisfaction. Now some product, even though they might be like ugly looking, they might not be good looking, but still those products give a lot of satisfaction. Okay, and even if the look and feel is not good and its level of satisfaction achieved by the user is high or good, then that product is said to have good user experience. So it's all about the usability. It's all about the whether the product meets the needs of the user and whether the user is happy by using the product or not. Okay, so when you're crafting the product, you should understand these things, that whether you basically the objective should be to like increase or improve the level of satisfaction, and your product should have like very good level of satisfaction or satisfaction level, and that is the role of the UX designer. Okay, so UX designer should be capable of, or should be willing to go and work hard to like increase the level of satisfaction of the user. And this level of satisfaction depends upon these three things. So basically, if a person or the user likes a product, and also he's able to understand what the product does, and also if he's able to use the product, then what will happen is the level of satisfaction will be very high. And if the user is not able to use the product, then the level of satisfaction is said to be low or bad. Okay, so the core objective of any UX designer is to increase or keep the level of satisfaction to be at the highest level. So that means like very good level of satisfaction. And when you're able to achieve a good level of satisfaction, then what happens? The business who is investing, he also earns money. They also like make big in the industry. Why? Because they're able to serve the needs of the end users, and end users also they continue taking the services from that kind of business, or basically they keep using the product and services of the company. Okay, so the objective should be, or the aim should be, to create products that has very high level of satisfaction. Okay, now so this is like small exercise you can do that. This is basically wherein you can list down or note down like different products that you use every day, and then evaluate it at different level of satisfaction. Some product gives you a lot of satisfaction or a very high satisfaction, and some products doesn't interest you, like you don't use that product. So you can list down that as a homework, and then also like write the reasons of like why you like certain product and why you don't like certain product, or why you use certain products more than the other products. Okay, this is one homework. See if you can do that, and in the next session we'll try to talk about these examples. Okay, so try doing that. And whatever we did till now, so whatever we talked about, so that is basically the customer journey or the user journey, or the journey that the user takes before buying a product. And as a UX designer, it's your responsibility to understand this user journey. Okay, so you can take example of any product. Before buying a product or before taking the service of a product, so there is a journey that the customer or the end user follows. So what is that? You need to understand that from the in order to become a very good UX designer, and then create good products. Okay, so what happens at the user end is, so the first stage of the customer journey or any user journey is the awareness. So basically, in our case, like if the need was the iPhone 12, so what will happen is like some kind of awareness will happen. Okay, so the user will get aware of the need of that iPhone 12. Okay, so once the need is there, so what the user does is he goes and discovers online. So he basically does research. He tries to understand which is the right product that he should buy, and then tries to compare with different features, benefits. Okay, and compares it with other competitors also, and also do like a lot of research, and also take or look at the warranty in our case, in the case of this product. So what happens, there's awareness first, and then the discovery happens. So basically research happens, and if he's able to or basically if there is something or a solution, in this case the iPhone 12 Max, so if he sees that yes, that's the right product, then what he will do is like he will consider that and then buy that. So conversion means he'll purchase that. Okay, and then what will happen, he'll start using that product, and at the end so if he use the product, if he's using the product and if he likes the product, then what will happen is like he might buy other products from the same company or the same brand. Okay, so this is one kind of journey that any user, any customer follows. So now what's happening at each stage? So in the first stage is the awareness. So there is a trigger that happens within the user. So basically user becomes aware of the pain or the need. Okay, so in this case the need of a iPhone. Now once the trigger happens, what happens next is the explore, right? So he goes online, checks different websites, goes to the physical stores, reviews the products, checks the physical appearance of the product, tests it with his own hand, and so on. So he's in the exploration phase, and he tries to see whether the product is right fit for him or not, or whether it's meeting the need of the user. Now what happens, so now that since he has done like a lot of research, he makes a comparison. Now once he has done with the comparison, he then finally evaluates that, and after the evaluation he goes and buys the product. So he basically then decides on, yes, I should be buying this product. Okay, now once the decision is made, what he does is he actually makes the purchase. He actually buys the product. Okay, he makes the payment, he buys the product, and goes home. Now after he's gone home, so what he does is he start using the product, and if the level of satisfaction derived from the usage of that product is high, he will stay a loyal customer. Okay, but in case if he's not happy with the product, then he will never come back to that brand. He will never buy that product. Okay, and if he's happy, what he'll do is like he will repurchase. He will buy additional products from the same brand, same company, and will also refer the products to the other people. Okay, so this journey, understanding of this journey is very important. So as a UX designer, you need to understand this journey. This customer journey comes basically when we talk about the UX process, comes at a later stage, but I wanted you all to understand the importance of this journey, because you won't be able to or won't become a good designer till the time you understand this journey, the journey that the customer takes before deciding and buying a product and service. Okay, I hope you're getting this till now. Yeah, yes, no?
Yes, we are with you. We are.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So the
Yes.
thought here is, yeah, thank you so much. So the thought here is to understand this journey. Take a screenshot of this slide. This is a very important slide, and this will help you understand what happens at the user end. And once you are able to have a good understanding of like the journey that the customer or the user takes, after that it will become very easy for you to create the right products. Okay, and don't worry if you're not able to understand this, because we'll be talking about this journey later on also, when understanding the different activities or the processes of the UX. Okay, so don't worry about those. I'll talk more about these things at in different sessions of the workshop.